The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is the main event.
This is your main event, Mark's Podcast. I am your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat dad, and I'm the world podcast champion of the world. I am Troy. And with me, as always, is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is the WCW watcher of classic wrestling, and the Nikita to my Ivan Koloff. Gobble, gobble. It's Greg. What's up, Greg?
That was a new one.
The Russians, baby. I like how...
One of them's in quotations.
Yeah, right. The guy from Minnesota that's a Russian. Yeah, I think Minnesota.
It wasn't even Vince McMahon. He wasn't even there.
Yeah, right.
Damn it, God. You look like a Russian.
Why was that a thing, by the way, where it's like back in the day, oh, you're bald, you'd be a good Russian. Or, oh, you're Russian, we got to shave your head.
Well, it's not just that, though. Quite a few people, were their ethnicity was just changed because...
Yeah, well...
So it's like... I think Paul Diamond, a couple different stints, notably with the Orient Express. He's a white guy wearing a mask, so they say he's Japanese.
Bro, he's Japanese, bro. We'll just slap a mask on him.
He's white, bro. You just don't know it.
Yeah, right. I just, I don't know why that was a thing, because was it Baron von Raschke, or Raschke, whatever, however you say his name. He said, I think it was him, that somebody looked at him and was like, saw him bald and was like, oh, you'd make a good Russian. That's like, why? Like, oh, you're bald, therefore Russian.
Every bald white guy is Russian.
Yeah, I don't...
Like Goldberg, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Yeah, right? Well, especially Goldberg. I'm sure he had a soft spot in his heart for, the USSR.
Wow. Holy shit.
Well, even when he got Crusher Khrushchev, he was bald as a cue ball, too. I'm like, why? You're Russian, so you got to shave it, bro. I think
that was Smash, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for people out there that don't know, Smash of Demolition, a.k.a. the Repo Man. Also...
Hole-in-one Barry Darsow.
Hell yeah, that's what everybody remembers him fondly for.
That's the one, dude.
Dude, when I met him at WrestleCon, I should have been like, hey, can you guys sign these autographs? The Masked Superstar and Hole-in-one Barry Darsow.
I would have recorded them giving you the decapitator.
Yeah, right. their old asses just shoot up out of the seats. I'm like, oh... It's but I was going to say Axe probably wouldn't have been offended by the Masked Superstar. I wanted Axe
to sign one of his own pictures as Jake Bullet. That's been something I always wanted.
Oh, hell yeah. Done. Now that would be the one.
I would literally put that right next to my Knowles bar display. It would go awesome with it.
Well, hell yeah. You need a gloss print of Jake Bullet from the movie and then take it into him to have him sign it. I guarantee he would.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. I guarantee you would. Dude, wrestlers get the weirdest crap. And it just reminds me of the thing from...
As opposed to the good crap.
Right. Good crap, pal. Well, it reminds me of on Step Brothers where he pulls out the samurai sword and he's like, see the signature there? Like American Idol's Randy Jackson. He's like, I saw him in a parking lot and all I had was a samurai sword. And I mean, you're not going to not get Randy Jackson's autograph. Hell yeah, man.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, right. I've seen some things where it's like these marks will come up. Oh, can you sign this?
I bet you've seen some things.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, flashback. Sorry.
Good Lord. Yeah, I've seen some things. I've heard some things where these wrestlers will be like, oh yeah, so-and-so wanted me to sign this. And it's like, what the hell, man? Like, why? But whatever. Like I said, it's one of them, well, you're not going to not get their autograph. It's like something random. Well, I can probably flip this on eBay. But anyway.
One of the new things is I've been seeing, and these people think it's like something. They'll pull out their cell phone, and if they have like a Apple Pen or something like that, they'll have somebody sign it. Like it's on your phone. Is that really the same?
No. I feel like that can easily be stolen too.
Argue that an autograph really means nothing. So that's
I don't know, man. That's freaking weird. But for any of you that heard the turkey noise, third year in a row we're doing this, baby. It is November And that
gobble.
That means Starrcade time and Survivor Series time. So 2 big times of the year for 2 totally different companies. Obviously, by the time Survivor Series came along, Jim Crockett Promotions was not doing well. They were...
that's why they moved Starrcade December, right?
Yes, because, at the time they were doing...
not good. Believe me, not good.
So, yeah.
You had Ron Garvin as the champion. What do you mean not good?
Yeah, now in the archives, by the way. That show sucked a high hard one, man. But Survivor Series came along, and it was the premiere show of November, and Starrcade moved to December the very next year, on orders from Ted Turner, by the way. He was like, move that damn show. So, you're not going to argue with the boss.
Vince WrestleMania is kicking our ass.
Yeah, right. WrestleMania. That'd be great.
It's certainly WrestleMania. I don't care. It's close enough.
Yeah, right. Well, we have a metric ass ton of news. Some of this news is going to come, it's all around the same time. So some of it may be a little after Starrcade, but most of it is pre-Starrcade that we'll get into. Just a metric ass ton. And Uncle Dave threw in...
You like saying that.
I do.
You didn't have to read that, so let's tell you.
Hey, metric ass ton is just like, it holds so much weight. I mean, I guess it depends on what ass you're talking about, but yeah, right. But we'll get into all of it. Uncle Dave threw in a lot of his little opinions that we'll crap on, but
yeah, of course he did.
Yep. But either way, real quick, I do want to.
Baby doll looked better when she had less weight on it.
Good God, I like how that's the one you went to. But we're gonna pause real quick to thank the sponsor of the podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Mahler Bros Golf. We all want to look good on the golf course, but it often comes at the expense of feeling good. Mahler Bros Golf has polos that look good and feel good. With their lightweight and stretchy materials that hugs your body, you will feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer day on the golf course, there's no polo that you would rather wear than Mahler Bros Golf signature polos. Mahler Bros Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design, and others for those that want a subtle and sleek-looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Use code BELLYUP at MahlerBros.com for 15% off. Listen to me. Listen, as a guy who has worn a lot of polos throughout his life, you need Mahler Bros Golf signature polos. Their polos are a comfortable, slim fit that will make you look and feel good when you're golfing with the guys. There have been way too many times I wore some generic polo shirt out on the golf course, and I felt crappy the whole day. My game was off. I just was self-conscious. Not with Mahler Bros. Don't wait to try out your new favorite golf apparel. Upgrade your golf attire with Mahler Bros. Get 15% off at MahlerBros.com with code BELLYUP. That's 15% off at MAHLER Bros.com with code BELLYUP. Turn heads on the golf course or wherever you wear Mahler Bros polos. Mahler Bros Golf. Look good, feel good, play good. And now that we're done with that, we're going to get into our first break. On the other end of this, it's news and notes time. Follow the Main Event Marks at Facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get ready to rumble in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main event marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main event marks.
By God, somebody's interrupting the Main Event Marks. Sit down, JR. It's just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, your host of Here in Puckburg on the Hockey Podcast Network. I know, a hockey show on the Main Event Marks. Who would have thought? This is an invasion angle. Somewhere between the Nexus and when WCW tried to invade WWE, somewhere in there. But I'm over here just telling you that one half of your tag team champions over here, Greg, he told his story of his love for the game of hockey over on my show. And if you'd like to hear that story, all you have to do is search here in Puckburg, wherever you get your podcast, or on YouTube. In the meantime, Shagamania's got to go run wild on some other hockey show. So, just remember, quote the Raven, nevermore, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and oh yeah!
The main event marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks. And we're back.
We're back!
If you're tuning into a wrestling podcast to hear about wrestling and you want it gimmick and politic free, you probably want the same out of your products. Are you ready to ditch the gimmick coffee? Coffee Brand Coffee is fresh roasted to order using only the highest quality coffee sourced direct from farms around the world. They've got bagged coffee as well as K-Cups. Not into coffee? Well, they've got great teas and cocos as well. At Coffee Brand Coffee, their head coffee roasters have mastered the art of unlocking flavors hidden inside their beans. Each batch is custom crafted and curated to accompany unique flavor profiles. Click on the link in the podcast description or go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and use our special promo code MAINEVENT, all one word, at checkout to get 5% off your order. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com and use the promo code MAINEVENT to save 5% at checkout. News and notes time. Well, real quick, do you got something cracking today?
I might have a little something to crack.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. What you got today? Another Zoa?
Yep.
Well, yeah, you know what The Rock
There's no
said.
sugar in these, so I can drink them all the time.
Nice.
But I don't drink them all the time.
Well, you know what The Rock says.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Maybe the only one we do that I don't like.
That's hey, that's when The Rock is feeling extra white that day. All right. Either way. Yeah, I guess it's time we hit our first official news segment of the month of November 2023, baby.
That is correct.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
And that's going to come into play a lot with the news here today. But either way, so starting off with WWF here because they have the bulk of the news, and then we're going to go into some Japan and territories. Yeah, right. So Tuesday Night Titans has now been moved to Friday, and it's been replaced by a show called Primetime Wrestling, which, that'll never get over. I like how...
Never drew a dime.
Tuesday Night Titans, now on Friday.
Remember, you used to have Friday Night Lights on Tuesdays?
Yeah, right. But, yeah, so there's more Titan on the airwaves now, Titan being WWF. That's what Uncle Dave always used to call them. They were Titan, was it Titan Sports?
I called Dave a douche, but I guess we can call whatever we want, everything, right?
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. But Uncle Dave says that pretty soon we'll hit the oversaturation point and the product will cut back again. However, if everyone gets burnt out on wrestling, local promotions will suffer far more than the WWF. Oh no, a whole 2 shows? Whatever will we do? That's way too much wrestling.
And he probably praises his precious all petite having 3 shows now.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times from him throughout the years. Like when he was like, oh my God, they're going to have 12 pay-per-views a year now. Like, that's just way too much. People are going to reject this and just throw it up. Like, yeah, about that, Dave.
Well, when I think about him, I throw up, so.
Yeah, right. He does this Chicken Little routine all the time.
Chicken Little?
Well, yeah, the sky's falling, but, it's, it gets annoying after a while when it's like a broken record where it's like, well, now they're really going to get tired of it. Okay, I was wrong last time. # plans changed, but they're really going to get tired of it now.
I'm tired of getting tired of you.
Well, and here's some more. Dave clearly seeing the future. Uncle Dave says that Vince McMahon's plan of attack is bizarre. His goal is to make wrestling such a ridiculous circus that he drives away all the normal fans who want stuff like work rate and hard-hitting action and replace them with casual fans who just want to gawk at a spectacle. Whether this cult audience is something that will stick around when the Rocky Horror Picture Show loses its freak show appeal is something that we'll find out in the next 3 years.
Damn.
Yeah, so much wrong with that, but first, next 3 years we'll figure it out, huh? Pretty sure...
This is what, 84?
Yes.
In 3 years, they're going to have WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, which was their biggest show yet.
Holy shit, that ain't just so bad. That little part right there alone.
And they like we just mentioned, they just introduced another pay-per-view with Survivor Series. Or was that on free TV at the time?
That doesn't come out until 88 or 89. 88.
Was it 88?
87.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, 87. So yeah, so 3 years they're gonna have WrestleMania 3 and Survivor Series. But yeah, no, they're oversaturating the market. They're chasing off all the normal fans, quote unquote. Like,
I thought you were
Lord,
talking
man.
about like right now in the time.
Yeah. But anyway, Uncle Dave elaborates further that Titan is headed for a disaster in 1985, based off supposed losses of $7 million in 1984, and
another bad one,
and a glut of TV product.
Do you know what happens in 1985?
Lord, that's WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. They'll lose a lot of money.
Yeah, well, no, they're heading for disaster, Greg. They're going straight down the tubes.
Oh, man. You look back his old stuff and like, wow, what was I thinking? Or I couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, right.
1985 is going to be a disaster. That could be argued as the year where it all started.
Right. Well, I hate to give him any bit of due here because, I mean, let's just face it, that's incredibly stupid. However, the thing with saying, well, they might be headed for disaster in 85, because of WrestleMania, at the time, a lot of people were saying that was a huge, I mean, I think Vince himself said it was a huge gamble, and if it was a failure, WWF was going to tank, and wrestling was going to go back to the way it always was.
Boring?
Yeah, give or take. I mean, it was going to go back to, basically, I mean, like what we saw on this show. So, WrestleMania was, you and I talked about it, I think, did we review it now in the archives? I want to say we did.
I don't remember doing that one.
Yeah.
It might have been one of the ones you did with Gron because you did all the first ones with him, I believe.
I believe we did every show, like every WrestleMania together. Yeah, we have not done that one yet. We've done 3, 4, and 8. And then, obviously ones after that. But, yeah, no. So WrestleMania 1 was very boring, you and I admitted. Didn't have a lot of great matches on it. But it was more about the celebrities and the glitz and the glamour, and it was a spectacle. It wasn't about.
Well, they had that amazing King Kong Bundy and S.T. Jones match, though.
Oh, hell yeah! Well, and WrestleMania 3 also had a great moment with Bundy. That was Eugene's favorite WrestleMania moment.
Brought up Eugene.
Well, hell yeah! You can't have a good show without mentioning him. Either way,
he should be kind of slapped right now.
Well, here's what we talked about offline that before we started recording. So, in his recap of 1984, I'm not going to subject you to all of it because I couldn't even get through it. Uncle Dave mentions Hulk Hogan, whose title reign has been a huge disappointment thus far. Stop. Yeah, let's stop right there with that one. Like, what? I don't even like what? Good God, wow. Man! Like, this is just.
Like
bad.
Disappointing in like no great matches?
That's actually the major point, like sticking point with him. Well, he has horrible matches. Like, who gives a crap? He's drawing the house. But he says he popped houses for the first few months, but things have cooled off considerably since then. Like, what's considerably to you, Dave? Like, good Lord. Also, his matches are all the same, as he takes a beating from the heel and then pops up and finishes them with a big boot and leg drop out of nowhere in a little under 10 minutes. And?
Do you think anybody is not counting the cash after all that?
Yeah.
That's all he did, and this is what I got? Never mind. I always said this cash made a 5-star match.
Everybody wanted to wrestle Hogan, not because he was the greatest wrestler on the card, but because he made the most money. Like, good grief, man. It's like he doesn't know how life works. It's like
when the Yankees are in dead last. Everybody wants to be on the Yankees. That's where the money's at. It's a fact. I mean,
yep.
Idiot.
Well, yeah, it's as if he doesn't know how things work, Greg.
No.
Yeah, right.
It's one of us dumbass Californians, to be fair.
Well, this one, I've forgotten about this here, but it's a little interesting to read about, actually. So, Sergeant Slaughter went to Vince McMahon with an ultimatum about getting a bigger piece of the merchandising pie. As we all know, Vince loves being given ultimatums.
And those Slaughter shirts and hats were selling like wildfire.
Yeah, right.
Bigger piece of the pie. What's he want? Some of Hogan's money?
Yeah, right. I mean, in his defense, he was pretty over as a babyface at this time, but it's come on.
How many Sergeant Slaughter shirts were selling though?
I can't name a Sergeant Slaughter shirt. Period. Like I'm trying to figure out. He got most of his money off of
Hasbro.
G.I. Joe. I'm pretty sure. I think that was another sticking point with them because Vince didn't want him to have toys with Hasbro. He wanted him to be exclusive, and
that was the original Twitch thing.
Yeah, and I think Slaughter said, "Well, I'm not giving up my Hasbro deal, I'm making way too much money, so bye." Which I mean, good for him. Either. Yeah, I mean, good for him. You get to sell toys and make more money than you would taking bumps in the ring. You'd be kind of
toys, man.
That's like people. Good Lord. That's like people complaining that the big money players from WCW sat home for a year, and collected a check. Like, yeah, you're getting paid millions of dollars to walk to the mailbox, man. Like, yeah, I'd take it too. But either way,
Kevin Nash could tear his quad walking to that mailbox.
That is true. It's very dangerous for him. But continuing on with this, though, so Sarge got fired, and he's now a free agent. He wanted to jump to the NWA until it was shot down by someone, Dusty Rhodes. Slaughter.
What's the problem there?
There was always the thing of, a lot of people have said this was very true. Dusty didn't want anybody in the company that could be considered a bigger babyface than him, or might contend with him for the top babyface spot. He was like, people go after Hogan all the time. It's like,
I was just saying, I was like, man, Hogan's the bad one.
Yeah, right. It's like people crap on Hogan all the time.
But Dusty was actually running the company most times too. So
right, he was booking a lot. Yeah, it's come out in later years where it's like, well, maybe Tully wasn't so much of an a-hole for not liking him. He had a plane with Stardust written on the side. Like, come on, dude. Whatever. But either way, Slaughter, of course, ended up working for Vern Gagne again in the AWA. Although Slaughter ended up no-showing a bunch of dates, Uncle Dave notes that the WWF somehow knew in advance that they needed to have Hulk Hogan there to take his spot against Nikolai Volkov, which leads Uncle Dave to suspect that perhaps Slaughter's firing wasn't quite the spur-of-the-moment decision that it appeared to be. Or they were looking to maneuver him out of that top spot and put Hogan in there? I mean, that's like, yeah.
Why would you move him and put the goose that laid the golden eggs?
Right. Like, Hogan is already coming out to Real American and, well, actually, at this time, he's not, I guess. But he's positioning himself as, all American made and whatever, and screw the Russian guy.
Oh, that's his WCW theme.
Yeah, right. The Superior theme, according to Cody Rhodes.
He's such a WCW mark, though.
Yeah, right. Well, what did we just talk about with his dad? Come on now. But, yeah, I don't know. Hogan was going to be the guy, the number one, defender of America and whatever else. So, yeah,
it's never going to work, though. They'll bring Slaughter back and Hogan will be out, right?
Yeah, of course.
He'll never have any kind of legacy.
Slaughter's the top guy, clearly. And I like Sergeant Slaughter, but come on now. So the WWF recently had their first legit sellout of Madison Square Garden since June. After the show, Rocky Johnson left the promotion, and the WWF continued advertising him for weeks afterward. That seems to be a thing with them. Look, he's gone, but leave him on the promotional material.
Because once you get there, card subject to change.
Yeah, but my argument is, if you haven't sent the promotional material out yet, advertising him that he might be there, even though he definitely won't be, still effing dirty. Like WCW doing that with, literally in the pre-show to a pay-per-view. Oh, Scott Hall's going to be here. I can't remember what show that was. And then the pay-per-view hit, and they're like, Hall's not here. Like, dude, you just told me an hour ago he was going to be here.
TNA did that with Hall, too, for Turning Point 07, now in the archives.
That one, I waffle on that one because I'm like, they said, well, we were hoping he'd show up at the last minute, but he didn't. With WCW, they knew for a fact he was not going to be there because I think he was in rehab or something. With TNA, they didn't know where he was, so they were hoping he was literally
TNA
on his
being
way.
dumb and oblivious? No, you're lying.
Yeah, right. Or, well, Scott Hall disappearing and not letting people know what the hell's going on. That never happened. And I like Scott Hall, but, I mean, we got to be honest here. Another huge loss here. Kamala has also left WWF after doing
no!
after doing a bunch of jobs to Andre the Giant In this case, because he was tired of constant travel. Buddy Rose was brought in. Playboy Buddy Rose, by the way. And he's already an opening match jobber. And Uncle Dave says that Rose actually is actually going to trial for tax evasion on January 27th. Whew.
Opening match jobber, was Hogan the main event?
Most likely.
Well, then who cares? I've literally heard people say that.
Yeah, right. That's like Playboy Buddy Rose. Who cared, bro? Plus, everybody said he just did nothing but expand, so they made that a storyline after a while. Like, he couldn't keep his weight under control. This one, you talk about building up the 80s, getting ready for, things to explode, man. Jim Morris, then known as Harley Davidson, and soon to be known as Hillbilly Jim, was recently shown sitting in the front row of the WWF TV tapings.
Was Jim Morris, like, from the Doors, and then he was the motorcycle?
Jim Morrison. Yeah. Close,
they're really clever with his names, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, his legit, like, on his birth certificate, real given name is Jim Morris. So, but I did have to do a double take. So I'm like, Jim Morrison? I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, Morris. Never mind. But yeah, Harley Davidson. How did he not get sued for that? That's what I want to know. Luckily, Vince was smart enough.
Maybe he played it off that was the actual shoot name or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Considering they sent WCW a cease and desist over Hog Wild. But the WWF wants the tag team titles off of Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch soon. Hell of a team.
He's got another name, too. Not just Dick Murdoch.
Klansman Dick Murdoch.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I guess you and I have never seen it, so...
Allegedly!
But I have heard from many people that they legit saw... Apparently the KKK has, like, membership cards. Like, you're part of a fraternity or something.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's my business card. Oh, you're in the Klan. Oh, that's cool. Like, that's something. But either way, that is a hell of a team, though. Adrian Adonis and Dick freaking Murdoch. But the WWF...
Adorable Adrian Adonis.
Absolutely. The WWF wants the tag titles off of them soon, but the Briscoes don't want to wrestle full-time anymore. So it looks like the new team of... Wrong Briscoes, but yeah. I know you know. I'm just telling everybody out there. But it looks like the new team of Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo are going to get the belts. Did they ever?
I think they did. Yeah, didn't they lose in WrestleMania 1 to Sheik and Nikolai?
That sounds right. Yeah, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo were, for anybody that doesn't know, they were was it the USA Express?
Yeah, Real American was actually made for them.
Right. And then they left the company and go on forever, bro. Barry Windham went on to have the run of his freaking career in the NWA after that. But
so did Mike Rotundo. He went to go be in the varsity club.
Yeah, right. And he was
I remember that.
And he was the TV champ for like years. Because, that's something.
Probably was for him.
Yeah, right. Well, there's actually 2 WWF Junior Heavyweight Champions at the moment, as Les Thornton is carrying around the belt on the TBS show and claiming to be the champion. In addition, Cobra is going to win the title from Black Tiger on the December 28th MSG show. So what's happened there was that Thornton had won the NWA version of the title in a phantom title switch and just kind of pretended that it was a WWF title, and he brought it to their TBS show. WWF then basically ignored that title, and it went away. Jim Crockett and the NWA then introduced a new version of the Junior Heavyweight title in 1986, just to confuse things. The other WWF title, by the way, was won by Cobra as promised. He went to Japan, and he defended it in New Japan before getting abandoned in late 1985. So there you go.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a weird history with that title. I remember seeing matches for it in like old footage and stuff, but I don't know. So the WWF tried running Dallas and did all right, but got beaten by Fritz Von Erich and WCCW due to a weak main event by Blackjack Mulligan and Andre the Giant versus Ken Patera and Bobby Heenan.
Wow. It's a couple of roles there. That horrible main event and the fact that they tried to win in Texas.
Yeah, right. And I mean, obviously they would later, but this is 1984. It's like
when the Von Erichs were like God in the Vatican at this time in Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Von Erichs were like Jesus and the disciples coming to the ring, all right? Like, well, real quick, the WWF drew 2,500, and Fritz's show the same night did 4,000. So it's not like they obliterated them, but it was, They won.
The win's a win.
Right. And
so Tony Khan trying to convince himself right now. Sorry, let me reword that because we're in the can. That's Tony Khan convinced himself in Wembley.
Yeah, right. Well, the thing with that is, like Bruce Pritchard talked about, well, they were breaking into other markets. They were trying to make their product known in these different markets. So even if they didn't draw, they were getting their names out there. Yeah. It was more of like an advertising, like, hey, we're here and we'll be back. So come check us out next time we're in town, that kind of stuff, which obviously paid off in the end. But WCCW just started tanking, like not long after this, actually. So,
well, it was all Vince McMahon's fault because he went national. I hate that narrative.
Yeah, right.
Like, well, why didn't you just go national then? Try to compete.
Well, that's not the way it's supposed to be, damn it. Like, to this day, Jim Cornette is like, well, wrestling was never supposed to be national. It's supposed to be regional. Like, okay, Boomer. Like, I don't even have a good response to that one because it's just so dumb. Like, oh, it did go national, and it's doing just fine. All right, well, not even national. It went worldwide, and it's doing just fine. Like, sure, there are fewer places to work that are doing, like, gangbusters now, but you can still make a living at it. There's still
and also there still are quite a few regional promotions. They're just indies, but they're still there.
Right.
I mean, we have BTW and APW over here. You have Rockstar over there.
Yeah, I think
Brian Myers and Creative Pro is still somewhat of a thing. Not just a school, they put on shows too. And Booker T's Reality Wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's still there.
Well, if you want to have a big day or a big payday from like relative to like an indie show or something like that. Like, there are bigger name places. Obviously, WWE is the top of the heap, but, there's always Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan, All Japan still running. Noah.
GCW's there.
Yep. Pro Wrestling Noah, AAA, CMLL. I mean, there are other places to work where you can make some good money. So,
Impact seems to have some kind of like an infinite bankroll.
Yep, Impact, NWA even. I mean, there are places out there, man. You can get your name out there. You can make some decent money. You're not going to be making John Cena money at all these places, but you're going to be making some decent money.
Yeah, but if you want to be on TV, though, there are only two options in America. We know that, to be fair.
Oh, for sure. So
I could say three, but Ring of Honor is still AEW, so two. But.
Yeah. NWA's shown somewhere. Is it just YouTube?
I thought it was only on YouTube or Fight TV or something. I have no idea. But.
Last I knew it was YouTube, but somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure they will. But
well, actually,
yeah, right.
You stupid head, you're not doing your research.
Oh my God! If I get that one more effing time, maybe you should do some research. Like I'm reading articles, a-hole. Like, good God! Or you and I are riffing that it's like I think I remember it being like this. I don't quite remember. It's like you idiot.
Plus, it's built into the conversation. I think I remember it like this.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's kind of like right there. Now, we're not stating facts when you say something like that. But.
Yeah, we're not going on the nightly news and telling you this stuff like it's the gospel. All right? Like, calm down, nerds. But the WWF will soon be on...
trouble, too.
Yep. The WWF will soon be on NBC-owned Sports World, but not on a weekly basis. However, there are those within NBC who are really hot for wrestling and want to do some sort of show on the network.
I bet you that Dick Ebersol guy is never going to do a damn thing with wrestling.
Yeah, right. Never drew a dime. Or, excuse me.
Never drew a dime.
Hit it early.
I believe it was Mike Graham that went to Dick Ebersol and said, we got to get wrestling on NBC on Saturday nights.
Yeah, right. And then a few years later, he went to Eric Bischoff and was like, you got to sign this Hulk Hogan guy. And we need to do this invasion angle. It's going to be great. And if I remember correctly, he was the one that told Hulk Hogan from the beginning, hey, man, you got to start ripping your shirt. That'll get over.
Yep. No, that was Chris Jericho. He invented everything.
Oh, well, of course. Oh, Lord. Anyway, for the next few stories here.
There's some real idiots in wrestling. You know that?
Yep. Greg Gagne. And look, I know he's passed away, so I hate to speak ill of the dead, but seriously, Mike Graham. Like, good God. But for the next few stories here.
I'd even throw Dusty Rhodes in there. He did some stupid stuff.
Oh, he did, for sure. But he... Like, when I think of, like, the biggest, like, people full of crap in wrestling.
Oh, yeah, he's nowhere near that. But we're talking about stupid stuff.
Right.
He's right there. Dude, he had that thing where Abdullah got shot in the chair.
Yeah,
the most egregious
Chamber of
example
Horrors.
there is.
Yeah, I woke up in a cold sweat.
Now in the archives, right?
Wait, which Halloween Havoc was that?
91, 92?
Okay, we've done 89.
Maybe that one, I don't remember
89.
Either, but
We've done 89, 90, and 91. So, and
it's got to
93.
be one of those. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, right. Hulk Hogan's got to be up there in the BSers category, though. Like, every time he tells a story, it changes. Like,
he's like your like uncle at the barbecue, man.
yeah, right. I caught a 5-pound fish, and then next time I caught this 25-pound fish.
Got a 3,000-pound blue whale.
Yeah, right. I hooked Moby Dick, and I just rode that SOB.
The only consistent part is every time he was drinking Bud Light, right?
Yeah, right. But either way, for these next few stories here, let's go to Japan. And there was a certain guy.
Some racism in there. I don't know, but
hey, I didn't come up with that noise. All right, that was come up with by Japanese.
Maybe it's more stereotypical.
But. Definitely stereotypical. But hey, I mean, I've got like mariachi music when I do the, what's going on in Mexico. So.
And our 5 o'clock white guy music.
Hell yeah! Look, we're equal opportunists here. All right. So.
Kind of like Matt and Trey on South Park. We don't play favorites. We hit everybody. Yeah,
right. But either way, with the defection. That's it. I can't word today. With the defection of Riki Choshu to All Japan, he's now getting babyface reactions that Uncle Dave would describe as being in the same league as Hulkamania or Kerry Von Erich's teenage girl fan base.
Soon to be the Rockers' teenage girl fan base.
Yeah, right. Look, normally this is where I would be like, yeah, whatever, Dave is full of crap. But seriously, like, Riki Choshu is over like an effing god over there, dude.
He was the Korean, right? That convinced everyone he was Japanese?
That was Ricky Dozan.
I knew it was a Ricky.
Yeah. So, close. But yeah, no. Yeah, Riki Choshu, he wrestled for quite a while, actually. So, I don't know if I think he's finally retired because he's so freaking old, but it took him for damn ever.
Yeah, but Japanese people don't age, so
yeah, right.
He might still be going.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's not a joke either. I'm legit jealous of them for that.
Yeah, right. Well, my favorite one is there's
got the secret sauce from them, but not age.
Yeah, right. My favorite one was on I think it was American Dad it was a Cleveland show where this one character was like, is this big overweight woman in a wheelchair, and she said something about, I'm 67. He's like, you're 67. She's like, fat don't crack.
Good Lord.
Have you ever seen those people where it's like they lose a bunch of weight and all of a sudden it looks like they aged 10 years? I've seen it in the reverse too, but like all of a sudden like their wrinkles like start coming in. It's like, wow, okay.
I think Cardi Wilson may be a good example of
that. Yeah. But in Japan, the British Bulldogs decided to jump from New Japan to All Japan via Vince McMahon, and they're leaving because they're pissed off at Antonio Inoki about payoffs. In New Japan, they made $2,000 each weekly, whereas Giant Baba is offering $3,500 for Kid and $2,500 for Smith. Uncle Dave thinks that they're going to be
Why would a tag team get different amounts?
Because Dynamite Kid was a bigger name over in Japan. At first, I thought about that too. I was like, why are they being paid different? And it's like, oh, okay, because more people give a damn about Dynamite Kid over there. Which,
Dynamite Kid, a.k.a. Not in every way, but in wrestling ways, a.k.a. the original Chris Benoit.
Yeah, right. Both of which had Dark Side of the Ring episodes about them. But Uncle Dave said he thinks that they're going to be even more pissed off when the Road Warriors come in for $10,000 each per week.
He might have hit that one on the head.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he ain't wrong. All right. But either way, well, this one is not going to be accurate. But Atsushi Onita, a young wrestler in All Japan who badly injured his knee, announced his retirement at the age of 27. Yeah. And if anybody watches the FMW Dark Side of the Ring, he does he does really F up his knee bad. And it looked like, he would never step into the ring again. But, he quote unquote worked around it.
Death match, by the way.
Right. Yeah. It was just like a normal match and he effed himself up real bad.
That's what happens when you try to get out of your comfort zone of barbed wire, thumbtacks, and glass and stuff.
Well, at the time, he hadn't started all that. He didn't start all that until after the injury because he was trying
is that why he started it then?
basically. He was trying to work around it. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He was very limited.
I just assumed he came into the industry doing all that crap.
Right. No, he started off because, again, like I got most of this from the FMW episode of Dark Side of the Ring, but he was like a big, bright prospect in Japanese wrestling. They thought he was going to be one of the next big things, and then he hurt himself. He thought he could never wrestle again, and then he ended up switching to more of like a hardcore style afterwards to kind of be able to still work with the injury because he couldn't wrestle like he used to. I've seen a lot of people do that. That's guaranteed why Chris Jericho started doing that crap, because he couldn't wrestle like he used to, so he's trying to mask it.
He's not as bad. He's not that bad, though.
Right, yeah. I mean, not quite as bad, but he is doing death matches and getting slammed into thumbtacks and garbage like that, so... either way. Good lord. This one's funny. Apparently, Hulk Hogan's popularity in Japan was tarnished by a knee injury when he went home after just one show to rehab it, and Japanese fans considered that to be soft. In fact, he fell to third place in the foreign popularity polls behind Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody. Oh no, not third place in Japan. Who the hell did he ever beat?
I think the top 3 in Japan are 3 American white guys.
Yeah, well, this is the top foreigners. So yeah, but
tiny wangers.
Right, you got two big ass bruisers from Texas and Hulk Hogan. I love that list. But yeah, no, this totally killed his credibility in Japan. He'd never be back, never draw a dime there ever again. Nope, he's done. Might as well take him out behind the barn. But back in America,
stories age so bad, dude.
I know, right? And it's not like he would pop up there in 93, 94, whatever the hell, and come out to a huge ovation in the Tokyo Dome or anything like that while waving an American flag and coming out to Real American.
You think he was Pikachu or Mario or something?
Yeah, right. But back in America, in Southwest, Scott Casey introduced his brother Rick, who isn't any good at all. Rick would go on to minor fame as Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, right. Wildcat Wendell Cooley. White!
You don't say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if that name don't scream white as hell, I don't know what does.
Isn't Wendell on The Simpsons like that little pasty white guy always throwing up?
Good lord, I don't know. I don't remember that character.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Good lord. But moving on to Tex ass here. Ric Flair returned to World Class.
The Cowboys, man.
I second that. But Ric Flair returned to World Class to defend the NWA title against Kerry Von Erich for the first time since their Texas Stadium match. Then, after 8 months...
now in the archives, I believe, right?
No, we did not do that one.
I feel like I watched it.
You might have watched it. I don't think we didn't review it for the podcast, so we need to sometime though. I feel like it'd probably be a fun match. Yeah, mark it down, damn it. But,
we did Jerry Lawler and Kerry Von Erich, right?
Yes.
I think I watched the wrong one. I had to watch that back before we recorded. That's what happened.
That is correct.
I remember watching it. So I think I watched the wrong show.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds about right. But either way, after 8 months of build-up, the best finish that they could come up with was Flair getting himself disqualified by tossing Kerry over the top to escape the Iron Claw.
Stupid.
The crowd.
Get the DQ, but you had to go with the lamest DQ you can possibly find. He couldn't use a international object or kick him in the balls or something.
No, over the top rope.
Wait, was it an international object yet? It wasn't. It was still form, right?
It's an international object. Sounds funnier, so I'm going to go with that. It wasn't that yet because Turner didn't own it, but coming up.
I still don't understand why they didn't just call it a weapon.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, why did you call it? Like, I feel like Jim Ross started that to be a smartass. Because the edict was, don't call people foreign anymore. We can't use the word foreign. They're international. So I feel like
foreign means
not from here. Yeah,
it's not like a slur or something.
Yeah, I know. Well, even back then, Turner was Mr. PC. He was ahead of the game, man. Got to give him that.
No, I was just thinking, Ready to Rumble. Dave Arquette's character clearly yells foreign object.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if that was just a shot in the face or something.
I feel like by then they gave up on it. But like I said, Turner changed his mind like he changed underwear. So people get on Vince McMahon about that, but it's like, dude, Turner was just as bad.
Yeah, one year he thought the Braves should win the World Series. The other 5, they should lose.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. But The crowd was also down a lot for a reunion arena show at 17,000, which might be a bad sign for the upcoming year. Yeah.
Oh wow, 17,000. That's it.
Yeah. How are they going to eat?
Wait, how many? Where's the reunion arena at? I've heard of it before. Where is it?
Reunion arena? I don't know. It's somewhere in Dallas, I think. I'm going to say Dallas, but that Houston, I think. I want to say that's Houston.
17,000. That's down. What's it hold? 100,000 or what? Why is 17 a bad number?
Well, it was probably down from what it was like the last few times because I think they used to fill it. So it is in Dallas. Okay. Capacity.
So not down from like when WrestleMania 19 in Seattle to like only 20 grand in Madison Square Garden next year. That not that kind of down.
Yeah. Well, it says its capacity held accommodations for 18,187 for basketball and 17,000 for ice hockey. So I don't know.
Factor in maybe another 1,000 or so with the seats on the floor. It's not really a big drop, is it? Feels like an overreaction to me.
Yeah, right. Oh man, they didn't quite fill it to the brim, so they're dying. In his defense,
wait, what hockey team is playing there in Houston?
Sorry,
I'm way to the beach now. Sorry.
Was there a Dallas hockey team? I know there is now, isn't there?
North Stars, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dallas Stars. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if it is Dallas, if it is Dallas, because I thought you said it was in Houston.
Yeah, I thought I stand
There's
corrected.
No Houston hockey team. I don't think there has been, but.
Yeah, Dallas Star. The Dallas Stars didn't start until they were in
Minnesota North Stars. Never mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were in Minnesota, and then they moved in '93, so they weren't quite there yet. I have no idea like what hockey team was there, to be honest with you.
We need Shaggy in here.
Yeah, right.
Go listen to Harry Puckberg, by the way. Quick little plug for him.
Yeah, right. If anybody listened during the break, you can check out Here in Puckberg, great hockey podcast if you like that sort of thing. Hey, for the sort of people who like that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing those people like.
I can't believe you worked that in for him.
Hell yeah. Here's another one. Mike Von Erich won the Rookie of the Year award for PWI. Yes, over Jushin Thunder Liger. Think about that.
Well, something tells me Liger will have a better overall career.
Yeah. Well,
Jake Roberts will see his first ever and only ever WWE match.
Absolutely. Jake Roberts stole the award from him and broke it. Uncle Dave notes that the plan was going to be Jake breaking the award over his head to lay him out, but they're so terrified of Mike losing his heat in any way that instead, Mike ran wild on Jake, laid him out, and bloodied him up. Good.
Mike Von Erich was the heel?
God. No, Jake was. That's why Jake came out, stole the award, broke it.
Heat.
Well, like, they mean heat like reaction, not necessarily like, hate, like people hating him or anything.
Because from what Frazier says, or maybe it was Von Erich literally couldn't be a heel in Texas. It was impossible.
Oh,
yeah. Confused me.
Yeah, no, there is no way. The only one that ever got booed was not a real Von Erich. It was Lance. So, which, by the way, I think MJF is playing him in that Iron Claw movie.
Oh, go figure. He's the one that gets booed. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's he's gonna be freaking stretch.
Yeah, he's going to be the not real Von Erich, the one that they brought in to fill out the ranks.
Jewish Von Erich.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Kerry Von Erich was actually this is one I teased earlier as well. Kerry Von Erich actually auditioned to be Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. Think about that.
Wow.
But he lost the part to a quote Swedish kickboxer.
That's not Dolph Lundgren, is it? Is he Swedish?
I really don't know. Dolph Lundgren, was he a kickboxer? I don't know. I don't really see anything about that. I don't know. Somebody out there, let me know.
Well, one of our faithful listeners will probably tell us.
He is Swedish. Okay, he was born in Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay, maybe it was him. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Either way. But Nikita Koloff was also considered one of the front runners for that part as well. Oh, a real Russian.
That actually might have worked.
Right. I mean, he doesn't...
Did you just say a real Russian?
Yeah. Well, Nikita... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Nikolai Volkov. Never mind. Okay, not a real Russian. The one not real Russian. My bad. That is not correct. I don't know why I was thinking because Nikolai Volkov, because that one is like I was thinking I'm like he would have looked so stupid fighting Rocky. Nikita Koloff, okay, he would have looked like he actually looks big and intimidating, but either way. Over in Mid-South, the Rock and Roll Express faced the Midnight Express in a new thing called a scaffold match. It drew pretty well.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Uncle Dave makes sure to say he hates this idea and it sucks.
I can't disagree with him on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, you know what, Dave? That's one for you, man. Scaffold matches are always awful.
Ironically, much like his opinions.
Good Lord. So to freshen things up between Dallas and Mid-South, Fritz Von Erich actually agreed to trade Skandar Akbar for Jim Cornette, thus bringing the Midnights to world class, where they pretty much springboarded to the NWA and Stardom. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, what have they done lately?
Yeah.
They're not even in the Hall of Fame, losers.
Yeah, that one I don't get. I'm like, dude, now's the perfect time. Like, I hate to put it this way, but it's like, dude, Bobby died.
No, like Cornette said, they shit the bed on that one. The heart and soul of the team is gone.
Yeah, exactly. From what I heard, he couldn't give much of a speech because he was mumble mouth, Alabama. But still, it would have been so cool to see all three of them up on stage. Four. Like, you've got to have Cornette and then the other three, because some people remember Loverboy Dennis, some people remember Sweet Stan. You and I always said we like Stan better, but I mean both.
I just had this conversation with a friend.
Yeah, all of them are historic.
For me, it was always Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan.
Yep. But
a lot of historians will tell you it's all about beautiful Bobby and Loverboy.
Yeah, I mean they made their rounds around the territory. They were a thing.
Bobby
but
was just on AEW, but not on TV. Guess he came out after the match or something.
Oh wow!
I saw it on Twitter.
Nice. I did
Go
hear.
Figure, wrestling's greatest cover band brought him out.
Good Lord. I know Jim Cornette himself said like you could never count on Dennis just because he was one of them where it's like, I'm smart with my money. I don't need this job. So if I don't want to be here, I'm not going to show up, or I'll pack my bags and I'll leave and you'll never see me again. And apparently he did that quite a bit. Yeah, right. Yeah. You'd think he was making bank, but it's like, hey man, you smart with your money. Good for you, man. If there's a lot of power in being able to say, I don't need this job, you can go F yourself.
Which is why Brock makes all that money.
Yep. That holds a lot of power, man. Somebody who didn't hold a lot of power, Butch Reed, has turned babyface and is a complete flop because he's terrible at that role.
Oh.
I don't remember him ever being a babyface.
Because he was terrible at that role.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, apparently people saw it happen, and this was during the original UWF ran by Bill Watts.
Oh, not the good one.
Well, of course. And it happened. People hated it. It flopped, and they were like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Bill Watts had the guts to make a black man a face.
Yep.
Okay.
Check this out.
That wasn't the Junkyard Dog, by the way.
He had a lot of black baby faces after the Junkyard Dog because, I mean, everybody admits this. They're like,
to replace him.
Yeah, everybody said it's like it was painfully obvious that he was trying to find his next Junkyard Dog. And in his mind, my next Junkyard Dog has to be another black baby face. It can't just be a top guy. Which, I mean, whatever, but these next two stories are, wow. I mean, it tracks, but it's just, wow. So the Road Warriors are programmed with the Fabulous Ones in the AWA, and early matches between them were awful because no one wanted to sell for each other. In fact, this led to...
I've never seen this on their documentary.
Yeah. The Fabulous Ones, by the way, speaking of Sweet Stan, in fact, this led to a famous incident where Vern Gagne booked a title change for the Fabulous Ones, and they went out to the ring only to be informed by Paul Ellering in no uncertain terms that no titles would be changing hands that night. The Fabs cheerfully agreed because they're not stupid. Oh, God. I like how they get out to the ring.
Wasn't the other Fabulous one Doink the Clown?
I guess it was Skinner.
Oh,
so
it was Skinner. Okay, I knew it was one.
Yeah,
of those,
which I mean, you are kind of correct. Didn't he play the fake Doink at one point?
I think a lot of people did, but he was one of them. Yeah, I think he was the one at WrestleMania 9, if I remember right.
Yeah, Steve Kern. Anybody out there doesn't know what we're talking about? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was Doink the Clown at one point.
WrestleMania 8 with Owen Hart.
Oh God, yeah.
And he spit tobacco right in his mouth.
Yeah, I remember that. Now in the archives, by the way, yeah, he debuted the summer of '91 as the Skinner. Good grief. And let's see, where did he play? Oh, he was Doink the Clown. It said he also portrayed Doink the Clown on occasion at WrestleMania 9. He helped the original Doink defeat Crush by attacking Crush dressed as Doink during the match. Also now in the archives. But anyway, the Road Warriors continue making friends at the Power Pro the Pro Wrestling USA tapings in Las Vegas as Ken Lucas came out of semi-retirement to do a job to them. First of all, I don't know who Ken Lucas is, but I'm going to continue on with this.
How do y'all know who the Ken Lucas is?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. God, I need to do my research. But, however,
trouble.
He wasn't accustomed to being treated like a jobber and refused to sell for any of their offense once it became apparent that they weren't going to sell anything for him. God. He walked out on the match after no-selling their clothesline finisher and kicking out at 3. In the dressing room afterwards, the Road Warriors confronted him and ended up breaking his nose. My question...
Typical mob bosses.
Yeah, right. My question, why would you fuck with them? Look at them. God. Like,
they're just two big old hoss dudes. They ain't got to do nothing to you.
Yeah, two big old biker dudes from the mean streets of Minnesota. Yeah, they're not going to do anything
Chicago.
to me. Oh, yeah, right. Chicago, right.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But, yeah, that one's crazy. Speaking of crazy, Memphis shows are up a bit since the Jerry Jarrett, Jerry Lawler tandem successfully got the city to repeal... chicken salad. But they got the city to repeal a parking tax that had raised parking prices from $1 to $2, and it was hurting attendance.
Holy crap.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
$2 whole dollars?
Dude, I remember as a kid, somebody like just throwing a fit. I can't believe gas is $1 a gallon now. That's just crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, wait till you get to 2023.
Yeah, right. You'll be begging for it. But in fact, the Ringling Brothers Circus had decided to skip Memphis for the first time in 108 years over the tax situation. It's that bad, huh?
Ran the circus out of town.
Yeah, right. Lawler managed to win over the city by pleading with them not to let children miss the opportunity to see the circus.
Of pro wrestling or the actual circus?
You stole Uncle Dave's line.
I don't like that we're thinking in tandem here.
Yeah, right. Apparently he said something along the lines of, well, if you want kids to see the circus, they can just go down and see, Memphis wrestling.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
His own nephew talking to him like that.
Yeah, right. But Jim Neidhart gave notice to Florida so that he could leave for the WWF, but then again, he said that months ago as well, and he never showed up. Uncle Dave notes that Neidhart's jump to the WWF is interesting because he's actually a son-in-law of Stu Hart, and Bret Hart isn't doing anything in particular in that promotion at the moment. So, that's never going to go anywhere. Hey, Vince, I got this big-ass rhino. He's a big bastard. Maybe you could get him a job. Maybe pair him up with my son, Bret. Give him some matching outfits or some shit.
Holy crap.
I know
I was gonna try to key you up for that, too.
I know you got that Jimmy Hart fella. Maybe you could put him with him. Yeah, because that big bastard, he can yell and scream, but he can't talk worth a damn. And Brad, he can't talk worth shit. So don't put a mic in his hand. Anyway, speaking of managers.
I think it would work out for Neidhart.
Yeah, just a little bit. Percy Pringle will be the new heel manager in Florida for the Missing Link. What a gig.
Just give it 6 years. Don't worry. Your time's coming, buddy.
We want you to dye your hair black and paint your face white. I like how he was like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that. Wait, how much are you paying me? Oh, well, I'll be right over."
Did you ever hear Pritchard talking about like when they hired him, when they brought him into the room?
No.
They were looking for a manager for the Undertaker, and it wasn't even on the table at the time. And they asked him, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a certified mortician." He said the entire room started laughing their ass off.
And again,
wow, they want a gift from Kenny Omega, huh?
Good Lord. And yet again,
that means God, right? Get it.
Road Warrior Hawk was the one that came up with his name because he said they were trying to come up with what to name him, and apparently Hawk was in the vicinity. He's like, "Why don't you call him Paul Bearer? Get it, Paul Bearer?"
Seems like something anybody could have came up with. It's just funny it's him.
Yeah, right. Like they were like, I don't know what the hell to call him, and freaking Hawk just threw that crap out. Like. That's great.
He also came up with a Doink character, according to Dark Side of the Ring.
You said came up with a Doink character?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where he's like, you say he looks like Krusty the Clown.
Yeah. Like he looks like the evil clown like that. See where Krusty's sitting there smoking a cigarette, just miserable.
Yeah, right. Well, and
wow,
he was
who
also
had Hawk on their list of Great creative minds, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, he was also the one that when they brought in Sid, he looked at him and was like, "You got the wrong skyscraper." Which
pretty right there.
Yeah,
That is correct.
this one I had no idea about, but Jesse Ventura gave an interview with a magazine where he was pretty candid about his blood issues. The blood-thinning drugs that he takes to prevent clots mean that if he blades during a match, he'll bleed out and die. Go on forever, bro.
Oh, I had a friend like that I worked with. He couldn't shave or nothing because one little nick might kill him.
Dan, did he have anemia or was it meds that he was on?
I don't know. He did take meds, yeah.
Dude, the saddest freaking thing, when I adopted one of, when we were, I was a teenager and we were adopting a dog, and we went over to the foster's house to get the dog, and it was like a whole family, and the little girl like looks at me and my sister, and she's like, "If I bleed, I won't stop and I could die." And I'm like, holy crap. This little girl's like 5. I'm like,
that sounds
damn.
like something Ralph Wiggum would say.
Yeah, right. The crayon tastes like purple. But much more dark. Leprechauns tell me to burn things. Speaking of dark,
Lord.
this is my last story, and, well, you might know where this is heading. 2020 is going to be doing a segment on pro wrestling soon, featuring Eddie Mansfield.
Oh, good Lord. I think I have a good authority that Jim Cornette still wants to strangle him to death.
I think a lot of people did. Jim Cornette said something about a lot of people wanted to like have his body floating up the river, mafia style. Hey,
Crap.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm not saying for sure, but if you give away the secrets of pro wrestling on TV, something might happen to you. I'm not saying what, but I would never do something. I swear on my mother's grave. God bless her heart. You know what I'm saying? But
is that Tony D'Angelo speaking?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying what'll happen to you. Okay, you might die. You might be all right. I'm just saying, something might happen, good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Good Lord.
Got in all the Italian mafia stereotypes there. Even though I will say the mafia does not exist. Okay, they're not real. All right, I've got to put that.
No, they're just a sanitation company. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Look, they are running a perfectly honest hot dog stand. Okay, like look, they just happen to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. All right, there's nothing shady going on there. All right, just leave them alone.
Making up stuff.
Yeah,
Did you
right.
watch one hit movie from the 70s? Losers.
I will say in the town my mom lives in, like my uncle's lived in that area his whole life, and he knows like everybody and all the like. It's a really tight knit area with a lot of Italians, and he told my mom when she first moved into that town, he's like, "Oh yeah, the hot dog stand, that hot dog restaurant down the street." He's like, "Don't go in there." She's like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, it's a front for the mafia." She's like, "Okay then,"
which doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, it's literally a money laundering business. And last time I was up there, it's been shut down. So I'm like, found a new place to launder your money, or did Uncle Sam catch up with you finally?
Uncle Sam's old. You gotta run him.
Look, man, you can murder people, torture people, make people disappear, and never to be heard of again. But look, if you don't pay your taxes, you're fucked.
Yeah, this is like Doug Dillinger, dude.
Yeah, right. And as everybody knows, and we've well established on the show, nobody fucks with Doug Dillinger. No matter who you are.
Nobody.
Isn't that what busted Al Capone?
Yes. Yeah, he did some heinous things
Allegedly.
throughout his life, but never got busted for any of that. But, the moment they find out he wasn't paying his taxes, we're throwing your ass away, we're locking your ass away, throwing away the key.
I don't know why that's what got him. I just laugh at that.
Yep. Yeah, no, not murder, not kidnapping, not racketeering. No. Tax evasion. I mean, whatever, man. But good grief. Anyway, we're going to take our next break here. On the other end of this, I don't know about you. Not that this show was amazing by any means, but I had fun watching it.
I liked it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. And to me, that's all that matters. If I can at least pull some joy and have some fun in watching a show.
Pull some joy, huh?
Oh, F yeah, every night, once in the morning. Anyway, but if I can pull some
Sunday,
exactly. If I can pull some joy out of watching a show, and if I can have fun with it, that's really all that matters to me. Not every match has to be a classic. Even like Uncle Dave gave this one halfway decent marks, and Not the main event marks, but halfway decent marks. And the guy
listen wherever you get your favorite podcast, like this right here.
Exactly. And the guy that was like transcribing or summarizing basically the Observer from the time, he's like, how did Uncle Dave watch this and think it was good? It's like, well, maybe he just had fun with it, man. I don't freaking know.
There were no explosions or parking lot brawls. What the hell?
Exactly. But anyway, we're going to take our next break. On the other end of this, Starrcade time. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan. Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
we shared the room.
Shared a room?
We shared the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast?
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah, well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. They nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
We're back. So the number one movie was missing in action.
I don't know if I
was literally like 7 months older. No, 9 months old.
Huh. Yeah, I've never seen that one.
I think that's the one with Chuck Norris, if I remember right.
Oh, hell yeah. That's
and the number one
for,
song.
I'll go for it.
Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Wham! Oh my God. Well, the if that's a Chuck Norris movie, that's setting up for somebody we're going to see in the U.S. title match later tonight.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. It's NWA Starrcade 84.
Starring Ice Cube.
Say what?
Starring Ice Cube. NWA, right?
Good God. The tagline, The $1 Million Challenge. The date, November 22nd, 1984. From the Greensboro Coliseum Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
The attendance was 16,000. This was on closed circuit, I believe, so there were no pay-per-view numbers. But we start off seeing the finish of Starrcade 83, where Ric Flair won the NWA title from Harley Race, now in the archives, by the way. The ring announcer, Tom Miller, then introduces us to the show in the middle of the ring, and then we get this. It's Mike Davis defending the NWA Junior Heavyweight title against Denny Brown. Yeah, these guys.
Yeah, those guys.
Your dad and your uncle getting into a skirmish. This goes about 5.5 minutes.
Over politics at the family cookout.
Good grief.
Damn it. You know he wasn't.
What the hell?
I'm just trying to be, what's the word, timely.
Yeah.
I know it was years before this, but still, it's Nixon was framed and JFK was a commie. Brett Foreman told me.
Oh, well, of course. What the hell? But there was a pretty ridiculous spot during this where Davis drops down, Brown goes over him, and then forces himself out of the ring as if he'd been forcefully thrown.
Oh,
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, that was so stupid. I'm like, the hell, man?
It looked like a bad elimination in a Royal Rumble.
Oh God, yeah. But Davis works the back and then hits a bridging back suplex. But referee Earl Hebner apparently saw both of Davis's shoulders down, so he declares Brown the winner and the new champion. Stupid finish. Uncle Dave gave this 2.5 stars. I gave it 1.5. What say you?
I gave it 1. This match sucked.
Yeah.
And I put out of my mind that I had no idea who the hell they were. I was just watching it for content. It sucked.
Yep.
The whole thing sucked.
Yeah, just
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Well, Davis is upset after the match, but shakes hands with Brown afterwards and leaves, allowing Denny Brown to celebrate. Commentators Gordon Sully and
That doesn't work.
Commentators Gordon Sully and Bob Cottle was like watching the commentary team of unbuttered white bread toast and a glass of milk. Send it back to
or 2 Joe Bidens.
They send it back to Tony Schiavone in Ric Flair's locker room,
who is still on TV to this day, folks.
40 years later. Good Lord. Nuts.
And what's even crazier is he took a huge break from 2001 to, we'll say 19 is when AEW launched, so 18 years.
Yeah,
18 year break.
Well, Flair is pacing back and forth while Schiavone tells us what we're going to see tonight and who all they're going to be talking to. He was clearly tongue-tied here, by the way, because he kept stammering over himself.
Well, they didn't have teleprompters back then.
Yeah. Or maybe he had somebody yelling in his ear, say it, damn it, God dang it, say it. But now we go to Mr. Ito versus Brian Adidas in 4 minutes.
Yeah, man, he makes some good shoes.
Yeah, right. Whoever this Brian Adidas is, he got a hell of a pop when they introduced him. I'm like,
I didn't know who
thing?
anybody was the first 3 matches, dude. Or first 2. I knew who one was in the next match, but
yeah, right. And I was just like, what?
I'm looking him up here. It says he was a huge star, world-class championship wrestling, so that's probably why. Okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that translates, because WCCW was pretty big during this time, so. I did notice that his leg hair...
bigger than WWE at this time.
Yeah.
Which was proven earlier in the news.
Well, I noticed that his leg hair is so thick, it looks like he's wearing pants under his trunks. In the end, Adidas hits an airplane spin and then pins Ito to win. Uncle Dave and I both gave this uno. What say you?
I gave it 2. It had a little going on for me. I kind of wasn't falling asleep. But I did laugh at the fact that he finished with the joke move.
Yeah, right. The airplane spin was treated like a legitimate thing back then, man. That was Gorilla Monsoon's finisher. Nuts to think about now.
Bravo did it too.
Yeah. Weird to think that was a
finisher. I think that was more of a... For Dino, I think it was more of a show of strength.
Yeah, I could see that. But up next, it is Jesse Barr defending the NWA Florida States title against Mike Graham.
What?
Yeah.
Those guys never drew a dime.
So
he's talking about Jesse Barr himself, third person.
Yeah, right. There were like so many title matches here that meant absolutely nothing, by the way.
And Jim Cornette has the audacity today to insult WWE and AEW for having multiple titles.
I will say that I can't remember who it was he was talking about, where he said they would have like Nights of Champions or whatever, and he said the big joke backstage. It's like everybody's like, man, he just has a desk in the back where he's just like opening each drawer and there's like another title in there. It's like, here, put it on the line.
It's like one of those old buddy cop movies where the captain just pulls a badge out of the desk and throws it at him.
Yeah, right. I need a gun and your badge. Gator gonna need his gat back, punk ass bitch. No?
This was Gator's bitches.
Gator's bitches better be wearing jimmies.
My big boy pants on.
Yeah, your big boy belt, huh? Make you feel like a big man. All right, anyway. So they use a test of strength knuckle lock spot at one point, which, in my opinion, is almost as dumb as the I'm going to stand here and let you chop or kick me spot.
Yeah.
Like,
at least
why?
with those, though, you're actually doing some damage. Here, who does anything?
Yeah.
With Hogan and Warrior, it was okay because they're both like ripped as hell, but not here.
Even then, it's just like, what? Why? Why?
How do you win that?
I don't know. You make the other guy cry, bro. That's all I can think of. Anyway, but Hebner gets bumped at one point. Yay! We see a small package from Mike Graham. Giggity. In the end,
Hebner and NWA, by the way.
Yes. And in the end, blind-ass Earl Hebner misses Jesse's feet on the second rope during a jackknife pin, allowing him to win the match. Good Lord. Frickin' Hebner is just an idiot, man. Like, he screwed up 2 finishes. But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Uncle Dave gave it 2.5 stars. I actually gave it 3. I thought this was definitely best thing we've seen so far. What say you?
I gave it 2. It was decent.
Mike Graham could wrestle. He was a decent wrestler. So, yeah, I don't know.
Just don't let him do any interviews or talk about his wonderful ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
They never drew a dime.
But anyway, We now see footage of J.J. Dillon and Tully Blanchard and the Long Riders tying up Dick Slater in the corner while they beat up Ricky Steamboat. That is Unclean Richard Slater, by the way. Or Dirty Dick, if you prefer.
Dirty Dick.
Dirty effing Dick. I don't know. Anyway.
Real name, folks.
Yep. Well, if you're going to have one, it's got to be dirty. Or maybe not. I don't know.
How did that get on TV?
Well, because his name is Dick, and he's dirty.
They couldn't put Ric Flair's head, a bag of Ric Flair's head, but they could call a guy Dirty Dick on TV.
One is murder, okay? Or attempted murder, I should say. That's a little over the top, but I don't know. Either way. Up next is the Zambui Express of Elijah Akeem and Kareem Mohammed with the most useless manager of all time, Paul Jones, in their corner. They're taking on the team.
Some big dudes, man.
Hell yes. Big, meaty men smacking meat. Like, that was real.
When I first heard the name, by the way, I thought it was, very stereotypical. Because I thought they said Zimbabwe. I'm like, so they're calling two black men Zimbabwe Express.
Yeah,
That's what I thought they said. I
don't know what Zambui is.
I don't either, but I thought they were going extremely stereotypical and racist with this, but I guess I was wrong. Okay.
Kinda? Because it still sounds like an African thing, and obviously they gave them, African Islamic names or whatever, so it's kind of like the Nation of Domination. If you were in that group, you had to have, an African Islam name. So, I don't know. But they're taking...
like D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry.
Yeah, those were the two. Like everyone else. It was Farouk Assad, Kama Mustafa.
He was already Kama. They just threw Mustafa on there because they had to do that.
Yeah. Makes him sound more African. God dang it, pal. Anyway. They're taking on the team of the Assassin #1, who is the father of Nick Patrick.
The greatest mullet in wrestling history.
Hell yeah, he looks like Kenny effing Powers, man. And Buzz Tyler.
Yeah.
Who looks like everybody's uncle.
We have now used that 3 times in this episode.
Yeah, right?
If it's somebody's uncle, he could also be somebody's father, I like how we automatically go to uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like
it
when
works.
You call someone, hey, that guy looks like everyone's grandpa. Well, that means he's someone's dad, because you can't be a grandpa without being someone's dad, I believe.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But this is a tag team elimination match that goes about 5.5 minutes. So, Assassin...
essentially, 3 falls will be in a 5-minute match.
Yeah. Well, you would think. I might have missed something, but I don't think so.
No, I'm just saying, in tag elimination, there can be up to 3 falls, and they're going to potentially squeeze that into 5 minutes. That's just stupid to me.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. But, yeah, you'll like I said, you'll have to tell me if I missed something here. I really don't think I did, but I don't know.
Let me ask you right now. No, you didn't miss anything if you didn't watch this match, because it sucked.
Well, Assassin #1 knocks heads with Muhammad, falls on him, and pins him to eliminate him. I'm assuming Paul Jones just instructed Elijah Akeem to stay out of the ring and get counted out, giving Assassin #1 and Buzz Tyler the win. Is that what you got out of this?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so...
He wasn't hurt or anything. What's going on?
Yeah, right. But either way, Uncle Dave calls Jones's team the Zambui Elephants.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So he body shamed even back then. Good Lord. He also said...
I went a different direction with what I heard, but...
Yeah. What were you thinking?
That's like a really racist thing to call a black person.
Is it? An elephant?
I believe so.
I've heard of other animal references being racist. The elephant one I'd never heard before. I just thought he was talking about their weight. But he says that
I hope he was. I mean, I know as bad as that sounds, but I hope that's what he meant.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. But he said that this was all action, albeit bad action.
No, it was not action at all. It was boring.
Yeah, right. He gave it a star, as did I. What say you?
Yeah, 1 star. This couldn't even have been good accidentally.
No, it's not good. Or, excuse me.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Very bad.
Yeah, well, it wasn't great. Oh, man. We go backstage now with Tony Schiavone interviewing Dusty Rhodes. Cody really does look more and more like Dusty the older he gets. Obviously,
I know.
A lot more skinny, but still. But Dusty says that the time for talking and showing off wealth is over tonight, and he says that he will win that $1 million and the world title tonight. And he says that Joe Frazier better keep his nose out of his business. And
Joe Frazier.
I'm sure Smoking Joe Frazier is just quivering in his boots thinking about Dusty Rhodes. I think he's okay, man. But up next, it is Black Bart with J.J. Dillon in his corner. Quite the team.
Jojo.
He is defending the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship against...
Yeah, that's a real title, folks.
against Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. It goes about 7.5 minutes.
Black Bart and Raging Bull in North Carolina, not in Texas.
Yep.
People give this man crap for coming up with horrible names for people. Who thought Raging Bull was good?
I don't know. I mean, it was, I guess for the time, it was okay. And he wore a giant sombrero to the ring, too. That was another thing.
All right, we're offending multiple ethnic groups in the show.
Well, with a last name like Fernandez, I'm pretty sure he can get away with wearing a sombrero. Either way. So, Manny Fernandez gets busted open first. This is just two dudes repeatedly punching each other in the face with taped fists.
Punching each other where?
They're punching each other.
In the face! In the face!
And, Manny saw the blood and he was like...
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
But either way, Fernandez finally busts Bart open. In the end, JJ hands Bart his bull rope, but Fernandez hits an O'Connor roll on Bart to win the match. Uncle Dave said, quote, both guys bled for no reason other than that they can't get heat otherwise, end quote. Ouch.
Well, going off this match, are we really going to call him wrong?
No, considering Manny Fernandez bled like a stuck pig in every match. Yeah.
Nobody gave a damn, never drew a dime.
Well, he was the original John Moxley, other than, he was not a main event guy. Uncle Dave and I, by the way, both gave this dose stars. What say you?
I gave it 1. This sucked.
I didn't mind it too bad, but it wasn't great. But backstage now, Tony Schiavone interviews Ricky Steamboat, who,
by the way... You want to see a great match, stay tuned. It's coming up right now. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, right. But he interviews Ricky Steamboat, who Gordon Sully keeps referring to as Rick Steamboat, about how the Long Riders and Tully Blanchard...
This is when he joined the... what do you call that? What's that?
The York Foundation?
Yeah, the York Foundation.
Well, then he'd be Richard Steamboat.
They already had a Richard with Morton, so they had to go with Rick.
Yeah, little Ricky.
Nope, too childish. It's got to be Rick Steamboat.
Exactly. But apparently they injured his back. About a year and a half ago, Steamboat was at WrestleMania, by the way, so think about that. Or wait, no, WrestleMania's coming up in '85. What am I thinking of?
About a couple months.
Yeah, okay, so I got it wrong. Well, I stand corrected. So he's about to be at WrestleMania in 6-ish months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him, man. He upgraded, and then he goes.
And
back.
he's gonna go strap or hitch his wagon to the Golden Horse, or I guess the White Horse.
Yeah, right. I see what you did there. Steamboat runs down everything that's happened to him lately, all the feuds he's been involved in, and he runs down how injured that his back and ribs are. He says that he's going to put that pain aside so that he can take on Tully Blanchard tonight. And he says he's put up $10,000 of his own money on the line for this match. There's a lot of money on the line in various matches here.
I noticed that.
Can't just be for titles. It's got to be for cash as well. Whatever. But after going to commentary for a while, they send it back to Tony Schiavone, standing by with J.J. Dillon and Tully Unibrow Blanchard.
Jojo.
Yes, Jojo Dillon and Unibrow Blanchard. So this was quite the change, by the way, from when WCW had 1,000 announcers and interviewers on staff. And they were all on one effing show.
I feel like AEW kind of does that now.
Yeah, like, you and I have reviewed some shows from, 92, 93, 94, and there's, 2 commentary teams, 5 interviewers, and then one dude who just, Missy Hyatt will just wander in occasionally and be like, I'm here!
Yeah, I feel like they're doing the exact same thing on AEW. I mean, they have their announce teams on both nights, and then sometimes it's Alex Marvez, sometimes it's Renee
Officer Bar Brady.
Yeah, Bar Brady. I think there's another. I think Schiavone occasionally does stuff. There's another woman. I think it was Dasha, but now she's the announcer on Saturday nights.
Huh. Wait, is she doing interviews, or is she actually commentating?
She was doing interviews. Now she's doing the announcing of the.
Oh, ring announcing. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Huh? Is she any good at it?
Oh, she's very talented. She's pretty good at the ring announcing too.
Yeah, right. Good grief. By the way, that's
Samantha Irvin, but she's great.
Yeah, Samantha Irvin. I never liked her announcing until like recently she started to grow on me. Like, I don't know. Like, there for the longest. Good Lord. Yeah, I don't know. There for a while, I did not think she was very good. I thought her announcing was just like, meh. But she's grown on me through the years. I was so used to like Lillian Garcia and like.
You might have been the only person on earth with that opinion.
Yeah, I know. It was not a popular opinion. I just did not. I mean, she sounded authoritative. It just, I don't know. Like, there were like gold standard announcers in my mind, and I don't know. I don't like change. Either way.
Changes.
But Dylan pretends like he and Tully did nothing wrong, and he just keeps getting screwed over by the NWA. Tully says that Ricky's making...
It's somebody else's fault. So.
Yeah. Tully says that Ricky's making excuses and putting the odds against him because Ricky knows that he can't beat Tully tonight. And up next, this is the one you said was, a real match that we need to prepare for.
This is the one, dude, right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's Paul, who could possibly give a shit, Jones, along... and he's got Elijah Akeem in his corner, taking on...
Yeah, because we need him again.
Oh, hell yeah. Taking on Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant with Assassin number 1 in his corner. Again, we needed more of him. Do you know who that is? That is Jody Hamilton. F yeah.
Father of the greatest referee in the history of pro wrestling.
Damn right he's famous. But this is a tuxedo street fight where the loser must leave town. The looter. Oh, man. The loser must leave town.
This match gets even better than what you think it's going to be.
Well, yeah, it's got the Boogie Woogie Man and Paul Jones, man. It goes about 4.5 minutes. So Paul Jones gets tied to the top rope and stripped while getting beat on. Yes, I said those words.
That's a real sentence.
He finally breaks free, and they brawl around for a bit. By the way, I got to point out the Valiant's wearing a tuxedo T-shirt.
Yep.
Like, man, I like to picture Jesus wearing like a tuxedo T-shirt because it says, "I want to be formal, but I'm here to party." Good Lord. But the referee is about to count Jones out from submission, but gets distracted by Akeem on the apron. The moron, Jimmy Valiant, tries to punch Akeem and hits the referee. J.J. Dillon runs in and knocks Valiant out with an international object. Which, I don't know, it looked like a can of soda or something. Like, could you tell
it was spray paint?
Like, maybe it was that. I mean, it was a can of something. I'm like, what is that? But either way, so that happens, and then he drags Paul Jones on top of him. The referee wakes up now and counts to 3, declaring Jones the winner. Uncle Dave says he's ashamed to admit...
pinfall in this match?
Well, because it was a tuxedo street fight. So it was like a street fight. They just wore tuxedos.
Yeah, I completely missed the street fight part. I thought it was just a tuxedo match.
No. You got to have a hat on a hat. Because, when I get into because a tuxedo street fight means it's a street fight, but it's fancy.
Ironically, the hat on the hat thing is, like, I think Cornette was in a tuxedo match one time against Paul Heyman and Paulie Dangerously.
Yep. If I may, sir, I will strip you down to your tighty whities.
No, you won't.
But Uncle Dave says that he's ashamed to admit he enjoyed the match a little. You're the only one. He gave it...
Hey, you haven't heard my review yet. Don't assume that. Hold on.
Well, he gave it the deuce. I gave it uno. What say you?
I'm with both of you. I gave it 1, but this match made me want to take a deuce, so I don't know which way to go.
Hell yeah. Good
This
grief,
was bad, man. This is a marquee show, right? Oh, good God.
Yep. Well, you know what's going to happen from this, right, Greg?
Nothing?
Well, no. See, he's going to come back, he being Jimmy Valiant, pronouns, pal.
Pronouns, pal.
Jimmy Valiant's going to come back under a mask, and he's going to be Charlie Brown from out of town.
That's where this stems from?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. Hey, you know what? We're educational here, all right?
For fun and educational.
Exactly. Everybody just, you'll learn something today. Nothing good, but something.
Well,
right?
You'll learn not to ever watch Starrcade 84.
How
Even
dare
if for
you.
your dumbass podcast. Just skip that episode. Record next week.
Yeah. How dare you? I can't believe you disrespected this show. Anyway. By the way, why the hell was J.J. Dillon involved in this?
I don't know. You know what's funny? In my head, I only remember him ever as a Horseman manager and nothing else. Until he was the commissioner of WCW.
Yeah, right. That was a little weird. Yeah, and like, why is he coming out to help another manager?
I don't know.
This is all weird, man.
Let's just move past this match, please, because my head still hurts.
You don't want to talk about Charlie Brown from out of town anymore? Come on, man.
Oh, I want to talk about the next match, which was...
He was luscious Jimmy Valiant. We now go backstage again with Tony Schiavone standing by with Ric Flair. So,
not in heel mode.
No, surprisingly. But Flair talks about how much of an honor it is to be the world champion and says that he's the greatest wrestler in the world. Kind of hard to argue in 1984.
Argue that in 1984.
Yeah, right.
Oh, word for word. Okay.
Yeah. Not rehearsed, folks.
That. We don't rehearse this. I think it shows.
Exactly. But he warns Dusty Rhodes that he better be half the man he claims to be if he's going to be taking on the #1 stud. And then we go to this. I say, well, oh, God. That's the diamond stud. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. God, you just F everything up, don't you?
Oh, that's what I try to do.
Oh, prom night flashback. Anyway. But up next, it is Cowboy Ron Bass. How many wrestlers throughout history have used that damn name? Cowboy this and Cowboy that.
So I was going to ask, do you think that maybe they just couldn't call him that? Maybe it's he becomes Outlaw Ron Bass?
Maybe. Or maybe they just... I don't know when he switched to... Because I only remember him as Outlaw Ron Bass, but here they called him Cowboy Ron Bass.
So that threw me for a loop.
Maybe Bill Watts finally caught up with him and was like, there's only one cowboy around here. But either way, yet again...
The Oklahoma guy, yeah.
Exactly.
Not the Texas boy.
Yet again, we see he's with J.J. Dillon.
Joe.
He's all over this effing show, man.
And even when he's on the show, he's making run-ins.
Exactly. Oh, crap, I'm not in the show. He's like Jimmy Hart in the 90s, man. He's just, you see a red light, Jimmy's there.
I believe we get to see him 2 more times after this, too. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Is it 2 more or 1 more?
Yeah. 1 more, I think.
Okay.
But Bass is defending the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Title. Yes, that's still a thing. Against
but
Dirty.
But too many world titles, right, Jim?
Yeah. The Mid-Atlantic title, that was an actual, like, for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, that was their belt. But now it's just like an undercard title. They've got 500 undercard titles on the show.
Today's terms for you people. It's like the Ring of Honor title now.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, it used to mean something, and now it's just someone's title. But
I was going to say, it sure as crap doesn't anymore. Unfortunately, because Claudio's damn good.
Again, it's an amazing wrestler, by the way.
I always thought that he should have been WWE champion at one point. Like, when he was, like, really freaking hot, like, I thought it could have worked. But, you know, he's such an effing man. But either way, he could have got a push like what Gunther's getting now, man. Like, it's not like Gunther's out there cutting great promos and crap like that. Like, they could have done the same damn thing with Cesaro.
Oh.
In fact, I think if Cesaro was in WWE right now, I feel like he could slide right in with Imperium. Perfect.
Oh, damn it, he's Swiss.
Well, Eichner is Italian. Like, whatever. Throw all the...
other one's German, so...
Yeah, throw all the European contingent in there. But he's defending that title against Dick Slater, who's not quite dirty just yet. He's actually a babyface here.
He decided to shower before the match, so...
Exactly. He's a babyface here, which is freaking weird. But it goes about 9 minutes.
Nobody knows about the, allegedly.
Allegedly!
The hat he wears, so... There's that. Looks like
Who?
a tone.
Oh, no, that's Dick Murdoch. This is Dick Slater.
I thought there was a thing about him, too.
No, Slater... As far as I know, Slater was... he might have gotten into, like, marital issues, but as far as I know, as far as, like, anything else...
Okay, so it's just the other one and the Harris boys.
Yeah.
Got it, okay.
Right. Well, Slater chases Dillon around the ring a bit to start this one. Later on, Slater shoves the referee out of the way and out of the ring. This brings J.J. Dillon in to hit Slater, but Slater starts beating him up.
J.J. Dillon again.
He starts beating him up before going back to Ron Bass. The referee finally gets back in and disqualifies Dick Slater because, of course, Uncle Dave gave this 3 stars. I gave it 1.5 stars. I did not like this. What say you?
I'm right in the middle. I gave it 2. I thought it was okay.
There was just so much stalling and running around and just like pointless BS. I'm like, what? Why? But
then when they got into it, they started really slugging the hell out of each other.
Yeah. Then after the match, Dick Slater is beating up both on J.J. Dillon and Cowboy Ron Bass before they take a powder. The fans cheer Slater on. I never saw it in Slater. I never thought he was worth a damn, but whatever. But we now take a break to hear the Star Spangled Banner played on a trumpet while they put a spot.
Because you always play in the middle of the show.
Oh, of course. And you always, wait, I just now realized it's right before the Russian match. Well, they had to bring out Xavier Woods with his trombone to play this damn thing. While they put a
That would have been
spotlight.
a lot better, I think.
Yeah, put a spotlight on the American flag up in the rafters. Yeah. Wow. But up next, it is Ivan and Nikita Koloff taking on.
Listen to some of these names, folks.
It's Ivan and Nikita Koloff taking on Ole Anderson and Keith Larson with Don Kernodle. With Don Kernodle in their corner.
Real name.
Yes. Former World Tag Team Champion with Sergeant Slaughter, by the way.
So when I heard the name, I thought they said Don Colonel, but then the Chiron came up. I'm like, Kernodle? What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought it said Don Colonel. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see by that. But Kernodle? That's
I feel like
the Giant was from. Grenoble.
Right. Right. I feel like he was always like there, always doing something, and just he's not one of those people that it's like, oh man, you remember Don Kernodle? Like he was great, wasn't he? And again, he just looks like a dude, like any dude from the barbecue.
Yep.
But by the way,
stands out about him.
It's about 15 and a half minutes. I love how they say that Keith Larson
is white, no tone.
Good Lord. I love how they point out that Keith Larson is Don Kernodle's brother, and they never explain why they have different last names. They just let that hang there.
Do you know how many people I know with like different last names from relatives?
No.
It's very normal. Maybe they're from California.
Yeah, like I don't hear that very often. Especially like you think like early 80s to like look like Southern white boys, whatever.
I was gonna say they're really white guys, but like normally this happens like with like Hispanic families and stuff. Like they name a kid or the last name comes after like the eldest living grandfather, something like that.
Huh.
Or I should say the eldest living relative, which is usually a grandfather.
Yeah,
a couple times.
I don't know how naming works for Hispanic families. Like I'm being honest about that because I've heard like different people. They're like, oh, my name is this because of this parent and that parent. And I'm like, okay, like I don't get it. Like white people have like the most basic naming of all time.
Joe Smith.
Yep. But the Russians getting heat on Ole Anderson was an interesting choice. Outside the ring, Don Kernodle gets bumped by fighting Ole Anderson and Nikita Koloff. This distracts the referee so that Ivan Koloff can punch Keith Larson.
How did the referee get distracted from this? It was like 20,000 feet away from him.
Because the referees on the show are all morons.
He like literally turned over, like walked a couple miles to go see what's going on way over there.
Yep. I love.
What the hell are you doing? It wasn't like they started in the rain and spilled out and was like watching them. And, you know, every trope ever in wrestling. Nope. Just went over there and started checking out the action.
Hey, what are you doing over there?
That was popcorn, but whatever.
Oh, man. Well, this allows Ivan Koloff to punch Keith Larson with a chain-wrapped fist for the win. I actually enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed the majority of this. Uncle Dave and I both gave this trace stars. What say you?
I gave it 2.
I thought it was fun.
Horses and afterbirth.
Yep. It was something, man. Well, after the match, the Russians are going to hit a double team move on Larson, but Don Kernodle gets in with that wooden crutch and beats the brakes off of both Koloffs, breaking that crutch. The Russians eventually take a powder as Anderson and Kernodle check on Larson. Oh, man.
All right, let's get to this next garbage match.
Yeah. Yeah, who gives a crap about that? I don't know. I want to talk more about them Russians, man. I wonder if their buddy Donald Trump called him up before this, called the other team up before this match. They'll knock them Russian MFers out.
I'm on TV. You gotta knock that Russian motherfucker out. Make him look bad in the news.
Good Lord.
That's the greatest post-fight interviews in the history of fighting ever.
Yep. People need to go look that up. What was the guy's name?
It's Derek Lewis.
Yeah, Derek Lewis.
Just look up Derek Lewis post-fight. I forget the name of the guy he fought, but he was a big Russian dude. This is obviously when Trump was still president and all the stuff with Russia going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to put that in his post-fight.
That was hilarious. And that was that before or after he said his balls were hot?
It was the same interview. It was right after.
Right. Yeah. It's like, do I want to talk about the president in Russia before or after I get naked? Oh, man. Anyway, up next. Now, this is match of the night for sure. It is Tully Blanchard defending.
What the hell you were watching?
He's defending the NWA World Television Title against Ricky Steamboat. It goes 13 minutes, 17 seconds. for once, J.J. Dillon is not out there.
Well,
I actually was wondering. I'm like, why is J.J. Dillon not in this? Like, not involved. I mean, not that I needed to see more of him, but it's just
but
like,
if you caught the Chiron, it said on there. So
did it?
I believe it said with Tully Blanchard or with J.J. Dillon.
No, I didn't see it say that at all. I just saw Tully Blanchard versus Ricky Steamboat, and
I'm imagining that, but
yeah, and JJ wasn't there, so I'm like, hey, he wasn't even there. So I don't know. I was just like, of all the matches you could skip, this one, but no, you had to make the run in for the Boogie Woogie Man.
running being the key phrase here.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so getting to the actual match here, both Steamboat and Blanchard each posted $10,000 to go to the winner. There is There's also a no-run rule in effect, which I guess means that if Blanchard gets himself counted out, he loses the title. Okie doke.
That was a famous WCW NWA Crockett thing. They did that many times.
Ah, really?
I believe later on, Steve Austin lost the title to Dusty Rhodes, and he couldn't get disqualified or he lost. So it was something they did a lot.
Do you remember when they did that with Randy Orton? Like, if he got disqualified, he lost the world title to Christian?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He lost the world title via kick to the balls.
Yeah.
Like, he kicks Christian in the nards and loses the title for it. Like, what the hell, man? Anyway, so Tully Blanchard gets busted open. So you know what he said to Ricky Steamboat.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody.
Steamboat actually hits Tully's own slingshot suplex on him for a near fall, and yet another instance of referees being dumb and blind. Steamboat goes for a sunset flip. Blanchard stays on his feet, pulls an international object out of his trunks, and punches Ricky in the face with it, or
In the face! In the face!
and then pins him to win. Uncle Dave calls it one of the best matches of the year, outside of Japan, of course, and says,
yeah.
and
Ricky's part Japanese, so it fits.
Oh, exactly. Well, and he says that this saved the show, to which I say,
Whoa! To this point, you got to give him that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it made the show better, but I don't know if you can say, oh man, this made the whole show worth it. Like, did it?
My only note at the end was like, finally, a good match.
Right. I enjoyed that tag match, but it wasn't like, oh man. This was the first match of the night where I was like, okay, now that was a damn good match. A damn good match.
It also reminds you just how good Tully Blanchard really was.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was really freaking good, man. Speaking of which, Uncle Dave gave this 4.25 stars. I gave it 3.5. What say you?
I too gave it 4.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't salivate over it. I tried not to rate it more based on, oh, finally we get a good match. Because I've done that before, where it's like I've seen so much crap, and then you finally see a good match, and I like overrate it because of that. I don't know, but personally, this next match, this is the match of the night for me. I don't know about you. It's
no, that last one definitely was for me.
I don't know. This next match is like might be match.
I'm looking at the main event. I forgot there's one other match. You dick.
Yeah. And this is match of the night.
My notes. I'm like, what?
Here we go. Match of the night right here, man. It is Wahoo McDaniel defending.
You guys can't tell. He was being sarcastic as hell.
How dare you? I'm never sarcastic. I say what I mean. But it is Wahoo McDaniel defending the NWA United States Heavyweight Title. Okay, good so far. Against Superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go.
This should have been a Crockett WWE crossover dream match, right?
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it sucked. This goes 4 minutes and 18 seconds. So it's obviously dubbed over here, but I'm pretty sure that Graham came out to Kung Fu fighting here.
He did, yeah.
And he's doing some Karate Man gimmick. Because when I think of karate, I think of Superstar Billy Graham.
His best Ethan Page impression.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think of Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, Superstar Billy Graham. Enter the Superstar. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Superstar.
Good Lord.
I could do this all day. Anyway, in the end, Graham comes off the top, wait, no. I'm sorry. There's nobody coming off the top rope here.
There's a way better finish than that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Graham comes off the rope, just like, after an Irish whip, to take a big back chop from Wahoo McDaniel, and Wahoo pins him to win.
Did you see the way he sold that?
Well, he just got shot.
It was a freaking chop.
Yeah, the same kind
tell
that
me Eddie Kingston can take one of those with superstar crumbles like that?
I know that like Wahoo's whole gimmick was the karate chop, but like, the tomahawk chop, but like this is just like a regular knife edge chop off the rope. And Superstar's like, oh, I'm dead. Like, F off, man. Uncle Dave gave this a half a star. I gave it a star. What say you?
Gave it a whole star.
Suck. Good Lord, man. They subjected us to this. This was for the U.S. title, by the way.
Subjected us to this.
This is for the United States title, by the way. Just want to point that out. And it was under 5 freaking minutes. Not that I wanted this to go longer.
Ended with a chop.
Yep. To which, by the way, Bob Caudle called it a Tommy Hawk chop.
Yeah, that's the kind of chop that Tommy Lasorda from the Dodgers in the 80s used to do. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that. Good Lord. Wahoo McDaniel, the Native American from Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner.
Hell yeah. We now go backstage with Tony Schiavone standing by with Duke Kiyomoka. Kiyomuka?
Yeah.
Whatever. Duke Kiyomuka. That guy.
As everybody knows.
He, one of the funniest names I've ever heard. Duke Kiyomuka. Smoking Joe Frazier and Kyle Petty. Yes, the NASCAR driver. Because nothing says Southern White like Kyle Petty. But they'll all be judges for tonight's match, and Frazier also doubles as the referee. They all talk about the importance of the main event match. For once, all 3 of these guys sound competent and normal. They're not stammering and repeating themselves and sound like complete morons. So I got to give them that.
Wow.
WCW would always...
For that.
Dude, WCW would always get these NASCAR guys, and they'd be like, what do you think of tonight's match? Oh, well, I love wrestling, and, it's like NASCAR, because, wrestling and NASCAR and turning left and, stuff. And then, like...
we're a real sport, too.
But Kyle Petty actually sounded like, competent, like he could form a sentence. So, good for him.
Which means he's not an actual NASCAR driver.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, that's why Jeff Gordon got so much hate, because he spoke proper English for years, and he was properly.
We can understand you.
Yeah. Hey, you don't sound like you just got back from humping your sister.
Holy crap! You said that.
Yep. But anyway, that takes us to our main event. So I guess we'll take our second to last break. On the other end of this, it's main event time, and we'll be wrapping up this show. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. Ugh, another wrestling podcast. How many times can I listen to fans tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday. Bump Day, yeah? Go to apronbump.com or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. Now we're back. It's Ric Flair defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Dusty Rhodes in the $1 Million Challenge with a special guest referee, Joe Frazier. And this goes for 12 minutes, 12 seconds.
Can we just see his statue in Detroit?
It was Joe Louis.
That's right. I think it was Joe.
How dare you? But during this time, they actually introduced Ric Flair as being from the state of Minnesota. Did you catch that?
I did not.
Yeah, I had to rewind it because I'm like, did I just hear what I think I heard? And I'm like, yep. Said from the state of Minnesota is Ric Flair. I'm like, okay. I mean, he is. When he was in college, he went to the University of Minnesota, so he was a Golden Gopher. But Dusty dominates most of this match. He eventually gets busted open pretty bad, getting thrown face first into the ring post. So, he looked up at Ric Flair and said to him,
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody!
Except for Ric Flair.
Exactly. But Joe Frazier, I gotta say, he was a horrible referee. Like, there was a pinfall, and he, forgot. He's like, oh, yeah. And he gets down and does, the weirdest 3 count. Like, what the hell? But he eventually ends the match, saying that Dusty can't continue with that cut over his eye. This wasn't as good as I'd hoped it would be, which is probably why they run it. Which is probably why they run it back again next year.
And that's the only one you ever see footage of.
Yep. Uncle Dave notes that Dusty, quote, either can't or won't move, and I'm not sure which. Good God. And Flair puts on his usual great performance, leaving the match somewhere in the middle. I like how he just
put it near the bottom, but whatever.
Yeah, I like how he just said that Dusty Rhodes is immobile. Good God, he's not that bad. But he gave it 3 stars. I gave it 2.5 for average. What say you?
I gave it 2. I was getting bored by this, dude.
Dude, when I'm giving the main event World's Heavyweight Title match 2.5 stars, and it's got Ric Flair in it, something ain't right. This was such a BS finish too, man. I don't get it. How many BS finishes do we get on the same show? And it's their biggest show of the year on pay-per-view. This is what they want to showcase? All right.
And you're wondering why Vince is already kicking your ass.
Yeah, right. And they did this all the time. They never learned. Never effing learned. But Dusty gets angry about this decision and charges at Frazier and Flair, but a bunch of babyface wrestlers hit the ring to hold him back. Yeah, they were trying to stop him from getting his ass kicked. Really? You're going to go after Joe Frazier? Okay, Dusty, go for it. I want to see this. There was some yokels in the crowd. I want to see Dusty whoop his ass. I bet he can do it. But Ric Flair approaches Jim Crockett Jr. in the front row, as charismatic as ever. And Jim hands Rick.
I'm already fired.
And Jim hands Rick a check for $1 million, which Flair kisses before going to the back. The back! In the ring, Dusty's getting his head wrapped with a towel. Oh, man. But backstage, Tony Schiavone's standing by with Ric Flair. Flair just wraps up everything that happened and says that he'll be back next year. After going to commentary for a while, we go backstage again with Tony Schiavone standing by with Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez. Dusty is screaming and yelling.
Dusty and the Job Squad.
Apparently he was really good friends with Manny Fernandez. That's a hell of a team there, man. But Dusty's screaming and yelling, saying that this isn't boxing, it's wrestling with real men. Yeah. He says that he doesn't care about...
Right here, they get Joe Frazier in a couple of months later. He's about to get Muhammad Ali.
Does he?
Yeah, he's at WrestleMania 1.
Oh, okay, yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, man. But he says that he doesn't care about getting stitches in his head, and no matter where Joe Frazier goes, he better watch his back. And he warns Flair that he's coming for him. And then he shoves Tony Schiavone. This was a heel promo, but somehow Dusty's the babyface.
Threatening the celebrity referee, too. That's not something he does too often.
He just insulted an entire sport. He is crying and bitching and moaning about losing a match. He went after the special guest referee for no reason other than the fact that he said he lost. Yeah. And he told him to watch your back, because wherever you go, I'm going to, come after you from behind. And then he basically said the same thing to Ric Flair. And then he shoved the announcer who did all. How are you the babyface here? You're an asshole. I'd see this promo and think you're a dick.
Oh.
But after a highlight package from the pay-per-view, we go to Tony Schiavone yet again, standing by with Joe Frazier. Yeah. We go to Tony Schiavone standing by with Joe Frazier. Frazier says that he thought Dusty was in serious trouble with that cut above his eye. He discussed it with the other judges, and he made an executive decision so that Dusty didn't risk further injury. So Uncle Dave calls this a very good show overall.
No.
And somehow, by adding up all of the people in Greensboro, plus the closed circuit locations, comes up with a figure of about 42,000, and thus declares it the number 2 crowd in North American wrestling history. To which I say... Allegedly! Really? All right. Anyway.
Dave gonna Dave.
Yep. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. We're going to hit our final break. On the other side, we're going to hit you with the final ratings and what's coming up next week on the podcast. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Final ratings time here. Internet Movie Database gives this 5.7 out of 10. CageMatch.net gives it 4.17 out of 10. I thought that was pretty harsh. I gave it a 7. I don't know, D+, C- maybe. I had fun watching it. What say you?
Mark me down for an F.
Wow.
I hate it. This was so bad.
It wasn't great, I'll say that. This is your big show of the year. And it's just screwed finish after screwed finish after screwed finish. Like, why would you think that's good in any way, shape, or form? I don't understand
way too much J.J. Dillon, by the way.
Yeah, J.J. was all over this effing show. There were 2 matches for money. Yeah. When that was the whole premise of the show, was like that main event match for $1 million. Like, the only time you could compare anything to that is like at Money in the Bank, but even then, it's like you have the men's and the women's Money in the Bank. So that makes more sense. This is just like, oh, well, we'll put some money on the line for reasons we're not going to explain in the mid-card match.
You got a money match. You got a money match. Everybody gets a money match.
Yeah. Like, you would never see this. Like, if there was a... if the main event of WrestleMania had some special stipulation to it, the match in the middle of the card would not also have that same stipulation. I don't know.
Yeah, but they were competing, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Well, like everybody said... There was, 1985 is going to change everything, but like WWF was solidly in number 1 and Jim Crockett Promotions was in number 2, but it was like way distant number 2, like not even within spitting distance. It's like they were number 2 by default because there was nothing else. So yeah, there was that. Well, that wraps it up, man. We have just had our first show of November. We're going to be cutting into the bird in a few weeks. Looking forward to that. But next week, we're going to hit you with our first Survivor Series of the month. Looking forward to that as well. I love Survivor Series. One of my favorite shows of the year.
I love this one.
November 8th is WWF Survivor Series 1990. Going to have fun with that. There was a certain somebody who may have debuted on the show. Of course, talking about the Gobbledygooker. And he would go on to make...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, when I think... Survivor Series 1990, one name sticks out above all others, and that's Gobbledygooker. Popped out of an egg. He was over. He came out of an egg.
Well, that should have got rid of his theory right there, because you can hear the crowd just go dead.
They just don't get it, do they? Like, they just can't appreciate awesomeness. Came out of an egg. He fell flatter than a plate full of piss. Shitting all the...
Come out of the egg.
Hey, you don't have him come out of an egg. You have him come out of a box. Come out of a box.
comes out of a box, he's instantly over. Why would you have him come out of an egg? It's spherical. That's just
still
stupid.
Gotta hold on to that whole thing to this day. Like we were talking about something. He said casket.
God.
He goes, no, it's called box. Can't say casket. Yokozuna doesn't like that. Like, he still keeps that line.
Good God.
I thought that was a great throwback.
So ridiculous. Well, that's why Terry Funk ended up. You remember when he popped up as Chainsaw Charlie and he chainsawed his way out of that box?
Yeah.
That was Jim Cornette's idea. He's like,
we could have him come out of a box, he'd be over. He'd come out of a box, you're instantly over.
And they're like, okay. So they have him chainsaw his way out of a box.
Girl.
Good Lord.
You're no longer over if you come out of a box. She comes out, she boops you in the nose. Hanging out with the Pudding Gang.
God, this effing stupid. We're driving off people here, but it's the end of the show, so whatever. We're slap happy. Anyway, that was a we're meat slap happy. That was the end of this show, everybody. We got some good stuff coming up for the rest of the month. I'm excited. We've got another got one more Starrcade coming up to close out the month. It's coming up. It's going to be Starrcade 86. That one, we get an effing scaffold match on that one. So, yeah. I don't know if it happened. It was a thing. I don't think this is the one. Was this the one where Corny blew his knee out, or was that a different one?
I don't know. I know they had a couple of these catastrophes.
Yeah, they brought it back. They brought it back every damn year for a while. I'm like, quit it. You have the Midnight Express, who's like your greatest wrestling tag team on the whole roster. You throw them on an effing scaffold. Why? God dang. That's like,
because why not?
That's like you like having Kurt Angle out there and you make him tie his arms behind his back before he can wrestle. Like, freaking dumb, man. Anyway, and you know, the Midnight Express, known for, like, they flew around the ring and they did cool moves or whatever. We're going to put them on scaffolds where all they can do is punch and kick and try not to fall. Morons. It's dumber the more you think about it. Anyway, that does it for us today. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for doing this to me.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll see you all next week, where we bring you WWF Survivor Series 1990.